Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we will go over part of SAT questions with no calculator. We are going to focus on detailed explanation of each question and math skills that applies to this test. And let's go. The first question, Salim wants to purchase tickets from a vendor to watch a tennis match. The vendor charges a one-time service fee for processing the purchase of ticket. So that would be keyword one-time service fee. The equation is provided t equals 15n plus 12. As you see, you have to recognize this is linear function and slope-intercept form. You was learning at school y equals mx plus b, whereas m is a rate or slope. In context of questions, it is rate, and that's where is 15. B is y-intercept, that is your actually 12, it's one-time service fee. And the question is, what 12 represent an equation? If you recognize linear function, you will understand. So the price of one ticket, it's not. Amount the service fee in dollar, and that will be this one because it's one-time fee. You see, one-time service fee, and that is 12. Question number 2. A gardener buys two kinds of fertilizer. Fertilizer A contains 60% filler materials by weight, and fertilizer B 40%. So we have like two kind. I will organize the data given. A 60%. Don't forget to convert right away to the decimal, which is that would be number, and fertilizer B, what information is giving, it is 40%, and we understand that is as a decimals is 0.4. Now what else we have information. So together the fertilizer bought by gardener contain total amount 240 pounds. Which equation models the relationship whereas X is number of pound fertilizer? So X connecting to its number of pounds, and B is Y pounds of fertilizer for B. Now, obviously that equation that would represent this situation, it's 0.6x plus 0.4y, and all together that's how many pounds for A, how many pounds for B, and all together 240. And as we see that B applies exactly to this question. Question number 3. What is the sum of complex numbers 2 plus 3i and 4 plus 8i? Whereas, as you remember, I, imaginary number and represent as a square root of -1. What you were studying in Algebra 2, you have complex number a plus bi, whereas a real part and bi that imaginary part. To add two complex numbers, you combining or adding a real part. So 2 and 4, 6, and then you're adding 3i and 8i, which gives us 11i, and that is easy question. The answer is C. Question number 4. This is a very typical question for SAT test, whereas you have to apply matching method from left and right part. So what we see on the left side, so it is 4x squared minus 9, and you have to recognize that you can factor. So you are rewriting in the same form what is on the right. So you need to factor. And as you recognize, it's different of 2 squares, which gives us 2x minus 3 and 2x plus 3. I refer you to the formula you was working in algebra, a squared minus b squared. You can factor in way a minus b times a plus b. I believe you recognize this formula, and that's what it is. So let me rewrite it. 2x minus 3 times 2x plus 3, and it is equals px plus t, px minus t. The question is, what is p? That coefficient for x. Of course, p equals 2, and that is our answer. Question number 5. Which of the following is the graph of equation y equals to x minus 5 in the xy plane? Of course, you recognize that given function, it is linear function in slope-intercept form. Whereas m is the slope, in our case, m equals 2, to write down as a convenient form as a rise over run, 2 over 1, and y-intercept, which is b. In our case, it's negative 5. So in this only one case here, we have y-intercept negative 5 and slope 2 over 1, and the answer is D. Question number 6. If x equals 2/3 y and y equals 18, what is value of 2x minus 3? So first of all, let me find what is x equals, which is very easy, 2 over 3, and y is 18, so I plug in 18, and we evaluating is 12. And now very easy to evaluate that expression to x minus 3. We plug in 12 for x. We have 2 times 12 minus 3, which gives us 24 minus 3, and the answer is 21, which is A. Question number 7. A bricklayer uses a formula that is provided, N equals 7LH, to estimate the number of bricks. And then it goes descriptions. So what you need to really look what's the answer, what they want us to find. You need to solve for L. So that is equation is given, or literal equation. That's what you were studying at school. And you need solve of one of these variables. In this case is solving for L. Very easy. N equals 7LH. And we need isolate L, right? To isolate L, we have to divide both sides of equation on what? Of course, 7h. 7h. So we have L equals N over 7h, and L, N over 7h. C is our answer. Question number 8. The table above shows some values of the function w and t. For which value of x, sum of these two functions equals to x? Well, what we have to do, we have to check if we're adding values of two functions, the value should be equal to value of x. As we see, this doesn't work. -4 not equals to 1. 3 minus 1 is 2, and that is exactly 2. So 2 would be our answer. Question number 9. Given if square root of x plus square root of 9 equals square root of 64, what is value of x? Well, what we're paying attention, that's actually a very easy question, because square root of 9 is perfect square, so it's 3. Square root of 64 is 8. So to rewrite this equation, we will have square root of x. No, I can just write down that 3, right? And equals 8. Now what we're isolating variable. So we have 8 minus 3 is 5. We need to solve for x. What we have to do? We have to square both sides, and that our answer. X equals 25, which we have option C. Question number 10. Jamie is preparing for bicycle race. His goal is to bicycle in average at least 280 miles per week for 4 weeks. He bicycled 240 miles first week. Okay, I would put my information. So first week, it's 240 miles. Second week, sorry, yeah, 310. Second week, 310. Third week, let's see what is giving. Third week, 320, right? And fourth week, which inequality can be used to represent the number miles of x could bicycle for fourth week. So it's x miles, right? So to find average, what you have to do, you sum the numbers and divide the number of numbers. So in other words, if we would do find average, we would add all these numbers. We would divide by 4. At least, so what does at least means? Which is answer is greater or equal to 180, right? Now, the next step, we can multiply by 4, right? So we will have 240 plus 310 plus 320 plus x. Oh, it's greater, actually, greater or equal 280 times 4. 4 and 280, which you can see that D is our option. Oh, I put it like this. All right. Question number 11. So as we see, given a graph of quadratic function. So what we can see here, the vertex of parabola in the xy plane above is 0 and c. So 0 and c, of course. Which of the following is true about the parabola with equation y equals negative a times x minus b squared plus c? As you see, this is form, so you have to recognize what you were studying at school, that parabola in slope-intercept form. Let me a little review. The parabola in slope-intercept form is a x minus h squared plus k. That's what you were studying. And you would recognize that the vertex at point h and k, and what is a coefficients is show if a is positive, parabola opens up, or if a is negative, parabola would open downward, right? That's what we were studying. Let me see options. So this is what we have to pay attention. First, we have to pay attention coefficient here, negative a. So obviously parabola should look downwards, right? And what is the vertex, coordinate for vertex? In our case, what is given here, you will say the vertex located B and C. So let's see what we have here, options. The vertex is BC, parabola opens upward, not our case. The vertex BC and the graph opens downward, and that would be our case. All others would not work. Number 12. Which of the following is equivalent to 4x squared plus 6x over 4x plus 2? As you look at the answers, you recognize that we have to perform actually long division, polynomial long division. So we're going to set up, polynomial long division. We have 4x squared plus 6x. We're going to divide, if it will work for me, on 4x plus 2. So how we was doing, what we was learn in school. So look at the first term. We have 4x squared divided by 4x. The answer would be x, right? I will change my, okay, let me try this one, x, right? So x times 4x squared, x times 2 plus 2x. What we're doing next, we subtracting, don't forget, put parentheses, so remember. So subtracting 4x squared minus 4x squared, they cancels out. And then we 6x subtract 2x, we have 4x. We don't have any more terms, but we have to look. Now we dividing 4x divide by 4x plus 2. So we again looking at the first term, 4x divided by 4x equals 1. 1 times 4x and plus 2. Then don't forget with subtracting, like we did a long division with numbers. So this is cancels out. What we have, negative 2 is remainder. What the result we have? The result is x plus 1. And that remainder minus 2 over 4x plus 2. And that would be our answer. And as we see, D would be a good answer. So if you don't remember polynomial long division, I would highly suggest you to review, because usually at least one question you will have on your SAT test. Question number 13. What we're seeing here, 2x squared minus 4x equals t, it's quadratic equation, right? So what they want us to do? In the equation above, t is constant. If the equation has no real solution, okay, let me underline it. Which of the following could be value of t? All right. So what knowledge is applied here? When so if we have quadratic equation, let me remind you what we're actually applying. In standard form, this quadratic equation in standard form, right? Let me put this way. So what you have to remember, if equation has no solution, right? So let me remind you, first of all, it would be helpful, like we have to review. To solve this quadratic equation in standard form, we're using quadratic formula, right? Remember? So, and that's what you was studying. How to solve equation in standard form, applying quadratic formula. So if you remember that b squared minus 4ac, it's called discriminant, right? And I remember that's what we have to pay attention to solve, to answer the question if it has no real solution or have two solution or one solution. It depends of, you have to analyze discriminant. So discriminant, you understand, if we have under the inside of square root negative number, then we have no real solution, and that is the case. So in our case, we have to make condition when discriminant is negative. Okay, this was kind of review what you're going to apply, which kind of knowledge to be able to solve this question. Now we go back to this question. So we're going to write down in standard form 2x squared minus 4x minus t equals to 0. So we have to analyze discriminant. So discriminant equals, let me just breaking down in our equation here, what is a, b, and c, right? So we recognize that is our a, right? So a equals 2, b equals negative 4, and c equals negative t. That's what you kind of recognize first. All right, I kind of put it a little bit low. I don't have room more. So discriminant in our case equals b squared. So negative 4 squared is 16, correct? Then minus, I just do it 4 times AC. A is 2 and C equals negative 2. Oh, negative T, I'm sorry. So as you see, we're going to evaluate this part. First of all, negative times negative gives us positive. So we have 16 plus 8t, and it must to be negative to have no real solution, right? And we're solving very simple, very simple inequality, 8t less than negative 16. From here, C less, dividing by 8 both sides, -2. T is less than -2. So the answer we have here, only one option is A. And that's how we solve this question. Question number 14. A laundry service is buying detergent and fabric softener. So 2 items. The supplier will deliver no more than 300 pounds. So no more than what we see that is actually giving an answer. All 4 options, it's kind of the same. Okay. Now, each container of detergent weighs 7.35 pounds. So detergent D is 7.25, and each container of fabric softener is, so those 2 numbers we have to pay attention. And the service want to buy at least twice as many containers of detergent as container of fabric softener. So twice as many. Okay, if you look at the answer, so detergent, this variable they providing that D is detergent and S is softener, right? And twice as many detergent, so detergent more than twice as softener. So as we see, even right now, we can see this would be okay and this would be okay. This is not good for that conditions, or so we're going to erase, so eliminate that. And they actually want us to recognize inequality. Well, if you see that A would be applies exactly to that situation, it's provided 7.35 times D, it's detergent, and 6.2 softener, and it's less than 300, but condition also for D provided here. So this seems like it would be one of the options, but if we will not have that condition, then would be okay. But by adding that condition D greater than 2S, only one option would be correct answer. Question number 15. Which of the following is equivalent A plus B over 2 squared? What you have to recognize, it is binomial squared, okay? So what you need to remember, it's good to remember special cases formula, and one of this formula is binomial squared. If you remember, first term squared plus 2 times first term times second, and plus second term squared. So this is what we have to apply. So now we have expression A plus B over 2, and it's squared. So, and to square binomial, that is the rule. First term square A squared plus 2 times first term times second term, which is B over 2, and plus second term square. As you see, it's B squared over 4. So as you see, that 2 is cancels out. So the final answer is A squared plus AB and plus B squared over 4. As you see, it's connecting us to that answer D. Now, one advice. For example, you do not remember this special case formula. You always can work out what is a plus b squared. Well, it's a plus b times a plus b. Then you can like FOIL it, right? Eventually you will have that formula, but you can apply, you can do, if you do not remember that formula, it would be shortcut, that's easier way, but you can also work out as a plus b over 2 times a plus b over 2, and you will have your final answer, which will connect you D. That's how it works out for this question. In other words, special cases formulas you must remember. Let me just provide you what I would recommend you, what I'm talking about, very important special cases formula. First, a plus b squared, like we did go over a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. The second formula you have to remember, be successful on this test, a minus b squared equals a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. And I would recommend number 3, it's different of two squares, a squared minus b squared equals a minus b times a plus b. Highly recommend you to remember those special cases formula to apply for your SAT test. Question number 16. If a in the power b over 4 equals 16 for positive integers a and b, what is the one possible values of b? So seems like we need play a little bit. So what I would do, so let me rewrite what we have here. Original b over 4 equals 16 b. So I would first I would make more convenient way to read off of that fraction as an exponent. I will have a to the b equals 16 to the 4, right? So, and they're asking only like one of possible. There's many possibilities here. So one of these, we can see b equals 4, right? If we can rewrite, there's many other options. So 16, I can write down as a like 2 to the 4 and to the power of 4. So I will have 2 to the power 16, right? Another option, it can be 16 and so on. But if you put as an answer, like it can be 4, it can be 16, you will see it can be option of 8, but you don't need sweat around that about this because they just one. One, it's either or. It's actually more options here, but that would be enough to not wasting time. Question number 17. Very simple equation. 2/30 equals 5 over 2. This is, you have to recognize proportion. So you can rewrite it in convenient way. Maybe you can see it better. That would be 2t over 3 equals 5 over 2. Very easy. what you solving proportion cross multiply, right? Like this. So we have 2t times 2 is 4t equals 3 times 5, 15. To solve for t, divide by 4, and t equals 15 over 4. That would be a good answer. You can leave it as a fraction. Since it's no calculator, I would not sweat about doing decimals or something like this. Question number 18, geometry. As I noticed that SAT, at least one question, very high possibility you will have, working with similar triangles which you have to set up proportions. So in the figure above, BD is given 6. Oh, first of all, it's parallel to AE. Very good. So I can kind of show like this, parallel. What is length of CE? So they actually want us to find CE. I mark it as a X. It's easy for me. All right. So what we see here, actually we have to recognize that large triangle, right? And small triangle. So I will raise it. So you can see small triangle and large triangle. They are similar. They are similar triangle because those parallel. So it's right triangles. Those they are similar. And in similar triangles, corresponding sides are proportional. That's what we're going to apply. So let me start with small one, because in this small triangle, we know two values of two legs, 8 and 6. Obviously, we can find that hypotenuse CD. So CD, we can find CD. How? Well, we're applying the Pythagorean theorem, if you remember, is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. What does it mean? One leg squared plus another leg squared equals hypotenuse squared, right? So CD, in our case, it is hypotenuse from small triangle. I put CD squared, and it equals 8 squared plus 6 squared, right? So CD squared equals 64 plus 36, it's 100. Very good number. Then we can find length of CD equals square root of 100 is 10, right? So I can put here I can see better. So all three sides of this small triangle is known. Now we need to look at that large triangle. What we need to find that hypotenuse, right? So in that large triangle, we know one of the leg, and we're going to set up proportion. So 18, if I start, remember, from large to smaller, that corresponding side would be 6. And now I start with large, x, hypotenuse, x, to small hypotenuse, 10. And that's what is proportion. Then solving proportion equals multiplying 18 times 10 and dividing by 6. So going to reduce, and obviously 3 times 10, 30 is our answer. Number 19. How many liters of 25% saline solution must be added to 3 liters of 10% saline solution to obtain 15% saline solution? So we need to organize all these given information. So I would make that a little table very quick. You will see how would be helpful. So what we have, 25 saline solution, right? So this would be, I will collect 25%, right? Okay, remember 25, it's 0.25. 0.25 as a decimal. Okay, now this percent I will organize, and next line is how many liters. So 25 solution must be added. So we don't know how many liters of 25 solution. Okay, so now we have 10%, so 3 liters of 10%. So 10%, I put 0.1, or 10%, I should do the 10%, okay, 10%, but remember it's 0.1, right? And we know that is 3 liters. 10% is 3 liters, so put 3 liters. And we have to obtain 15%, right? 15% solution, 15%, which is just for myself, remind me. So, but how many liters we have? We didn't know. We need to find how many liters we need to find. 3 liters. So x plus 3, that's how many liters we will have. 15% solution. And this is our equation, right? So 0.25 x plus what point? So we have 3 liter and 0.1, 10%. So multiplying what we have, 0.3, right? 0.3, and it's equals 0.15 times x plus 3. That's how many liters. And now that's it. We have to solve it. We have to solve it. Well, if you want, you can keep it in decimals. Or if you don't like decimals, we actually can multiply by 100 this equation to rid off of decimals. We will obtain equivalent equation, which is 25x plus 30 equals 15x plus 3. A little bit better, right? Why not? No, distributive property first. So solving very simple equation. We was doing even in the middle school. So 15x plus 45. Rearranging. So keep x's on one side, combining. So 25 subtract, because we're moving to another side, 15x, we will have 10x. So 45 minus 30, because we're moving 30 to another side, 15. And to solve for x, of course, dividing by 10, x equals 1.5 is a decimal. So that's how many liters we have to add 25% saline solution to obtain whatever they're asking us. That is our question, answer. Question number 20, and it's last question on this section. So let's read. Point A and B lie on circle with a radius 1. So we have circle. So I will just draw the circle to see what we have. We have A and B, A and B, and we have radius, I can put like this, radius of 1, right? So what else is giving? Length of this arc AB is giving as a pi over 3. What fraction of circumference of the circle? So of course we have to remember, and we do, circumference of circle is 2 pi r. It's actually provided in a reference for this test. Don't forget to look up if you forgot it. So in our case, with radius of 1, our circumference of our circle equals to pi, right? Because r equals 1. And now we need to find the fraction. What is fraction? If we have the length AB is pi over 3, right? Pi over 3. Fractions. Let me put divide by 2 pi, right? So pi over 3 times 2 pi, it goes on the bottom because division. The answer 1 over 6, and that would be your fraction length of this arc over whole circumference of this circle. And we finish that part 1, where is no calculator, of SAT test. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe my channel to learn more. And see you next time.